Hello guys, welcome back to another video. It's me, ARC Exotics. Now as you can see, it's a bit of a different video already. We're not in our usual place, the reptile room, which is just over there in front of me. Today we're in my car and we're going to do a little kind of, I wouldn't say a vlog, more hopefully of an educational video. I'm now just going down the road and I'm going to basically show you what's happened to our local beach and the pollution that's happened and why it has happened. It's all been in the news around my local area. There's been loads of things dead, washed up on the shore, like seabirds and starfish and crabs, and yeah, basically all to do with palm oil, but we're going to get much more into detail later in the video. We're going to go there, have a little look. Again, it's extremely deadly to dogs and fatal, not to humans, but if you already know a little bit about deforestation and stuff like that and pollution, palm oil is a massive issue, all about using it sustainably, etc. So yeah, we're just going to take a little look and show you the actual damage it can have and what it is doing every single day around the world. So let's drive down there and have a little look. Right guys, we've just arrived and obviously it is on the coast, so it is pretty windy, so obviously we're just going to see what it's like filming, but if not we can just mute the footage and do a voiceover. But yeah, let's see how bad it is. This happened Monday and this video is now being filmed Wednesday. There has been coast guards that have come and cleared up the actual solidified chunks of palm oil. Obviously we're on about what it's done to the sort of ecosystem and stuff like that, so we still might find some, but if we do, we actually have to contact 999 and let them know so they can come and get rid of it instantly. So yeah, let's see what we can find. Right, now I'm on the coast and as you can see or hear, more than likely it's very windy and very rough as well. The tide is coming in, and they did say that this can bring in more debris with the tide because obviously there's still a lot more out at sea. So if you can't hear me then I'll know, but we'll do a voiceover if not, so let's go. Sure how well you can hear me, but this is the first sign of the damage it's caused. These are cuttlefish bones and there's not just one here, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is just a tiny little snippet. Here we go with another one, 6 here, a shark egg. As you can see, endless amounts of debris caused. So as you can see here, tiny little cuttlefish bone. Obviously they sell these in pet shops for calcium for animals like parrots and tortoises. I've got one for my leopard tortoise, but again this has come straight from the beach itself. That would be a thumbnail, and yeah, absolutely terrible. Now this is just a little pile that we managed to just collect in about probably about a 10 foot radius of just what was around us. A quick 10-second look around here, and this is all of the cuttlefish bone that we found. Here we have an egg sac, and again not sure what it's from, but something else that has washed up onto the shoreline due to the palm oil spill. Again, just more parts of damage from the palm oil, all of this debris that has washed up. As you can see here, big crab claw, another little crab just there. Literally every couple of 100 yards, another crab there, dead. All of this just goes on and on for absolutely ages. There we have another huge crab shell, and there are some other things, but not too sure what they are. I've seen a lot of them there, but yeah, just absolutely loads. Again here, more stuff that we have found. This was some kind of coral that was attached to a rock. This is the underside of it, the foot, and this is obviously detached and been killed from the palm oil and washed ashore. There's another little baby one next to it, and yeah, again this is another thing to add to the list. Just over there, another crab, endless. Now, by the sounds of it, you can hear me fairly well thanks to the camera. So we've not even got to the main site yet, and what we found is probably, well, without even looking, about 50 to 60 cuttlefish bones, some as big as my forearm and some as big as my little finger. We've found corals that have been pushed from underneath the ocean, being like their foot has been attached to a rock. Obviously the toxins have got into the water, made it toxic and killed them. We've seen crabs, we've seen jellyfish, and that is just a few of the stuff, and we're not even at the main site where they believe that happened. And when it actually did happen, the ocean, when the waves were coming in like they are now, was actually believed to be black. That's how bad it was. Here we have right where the rocks would have met the ocean when the tide was up, and this is obviously a hot spot for where they get stuck. Absolutely loads of them. I feel like I'm shouting, but it's quite windy, so all under the rock as well. Under there, the little tiny one. Feathers from all the birds. Another little one. Another part of a coral there. Like I say, just every single stretch. Here we go. This is the first starfish that we've found. Obviously again affected by the toxins in the water from the palm oil being released, and this pretty little creature is now gone. And this is just one, what I've found, let alone what is along this whole coastline and around the world as well. So this little guy here, we'll just flip him over. There he is. So that is a starfish added to the list, unfortunately. So a little bit further up we have another big cuttlefish bone and another little starfish just there. I have to be quite quick as the tide is coming in and I am cut off from the pathway. But it's just crazy how people can walk along here. They walk along here because they appreciate the beach and they don't appreciate what damage they're doing at the same time. So without falling over because it's quite rocky, the point I'm trying to make is you come to the beach because you appreciate it, but then you don't appreciate what is in the ocean out there because you can't see it, and because you can't see it you don't appreciate it, and all of a sudden you're walking across all these dead things. The amount of people that walk across here today and they don't know what is lying on the floor, what's dead, what's part of the ocean, and they don't understand that. And this is all because of palm oil. And I'm not the smartest person, like academically, but people don't care to take an interest into it because they think it doesn't affect them. So because this dead cuttlefish bone here, because that doesn't affect them, why do they have to pay an interest into it? It's irrelevant to them. So they don't understand that, which is really frustrating. So yeah, we'll just keep going and see what else we can find. So this is a big part to what is going wrong with our coastline. This port here is the biggest and busiest container port in Britain, otherwise known as Felixstowe Docks, and we'll get into this a lot later to why the palm oil is killing our creatures on our coastline due to this port. But obviously, being the biggest container port in the world, a lot of cargo vessels do come in here and they do have to offload their waste, and obviously that ends up just here on our coastlines. Now I've muted this footage because I was on a hill and you couldn't really hear me too well, but basically what I'm trying to say is this port has a lot of vessels coming in and out, and it is actually legal for all shipping vessels to be able to dump palm oil off their boat or vessel if they are at least 12 miles away from shore. So obviously this happens on a regular basis. So this isn't me directly blaming the Port of Felixstowe, but this is just me saying that it is obviously likely that the vessels that are coming here are dumping the oil, because this is something that is done extremely common and extremely popular in the shipping industry. And in case you're wondering what ships actually use palm oil for, they actually use it as a washing detergent to wash inside of their tanks, and once they've used it to wash inside of their tanks, they will dump it out into the sea. Here it will mix with loads of other chemicals and other debris and make it much more toxic and much more lethal, especially towards pets and animals. Now, I've got this piece of information from The Times, and it says here, foreign tankers are routinely dumping huge quantities of palm oil off the British coast. In the past 2 years, satellites operated by the European Maritime Safety Agency identified 7 large spills in British waters, 2 with trails extending for more than 44 miles. All were classified as permitted discharge by the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency, MCA. This article was produced in 2018, and since then you can only imagine that it's got much worse. Obviously, with the shipping industry continuously growing and being one of the biggest and best ways to move cargo and freight across the world. So my question to you is, if it was harmful and deadly to humans, would this still be happening? And is it just happening because it is only deadly to animals? So now I'm right on the coast. It is extremely windy, so I think I'm just going to do a voiceover for the rest of the video. But as you can see here, we stumbled across another invertebrate. This little guy is a sea urchin, and as you can see, has clearly been killed by the palm oil and washed ashore. It is not often that you see one of these, especially around our kind of coastline. We're now heading back to the car, and basically we found quite a lot. I'm not sure if we're going to be finished for today or we're going to come back tomorrow. I'm a little bit rushed for time today, but just literally in 2 hours maybe, because the amount I've seen is unbelievable. I want to come back and see more because I know there's so much more to be seen, but what I'm going to do is get home. I want to do some more research about it all, just so I provide knowledgeable information to you guys, so you understand and I understand, and hopefully we both learn something from it, which is the whole point of this video, all about sustainability, partnering and stuff like that. So yeah, hopefully something will be done, or something is already being done, but obviously not as good as it should be by what we've seen today. Like I said, if you can hear me over that, this has been here since Monday and it's now Wednesday afternoon, and by the looks of it I caught it just in time because I was walking on that beach an hour ago. So now the tide is coming in, it's going to take out all the debris that I originally brought in. So all the cuttlefish bones, etc., seahorses, sea urchins, crabs will all go back out. Bearing in mind as well, you would have seen a lot more crabs, but the seagulls pick them off really quickly, even though again that's a knock-on effect because that is also harmful, because if the crab has got palm oil in it and the seagull eats it, knock-on effect. So yeah, by the sounds of it we got it just in time, but yeah, we'll see what else we can come across on the way. So just on my way back, this might be one of the biggest ones I've seen. Again, about forearm size, you can see it compared to my hand. Pretty big, and again so white and so pretty, and I actually had the luck to see one of these cuttlefish alive in Greece in the water in the Mediterranean, and they were stunning, and to see that they've just been wasted like this is terrible. But yeah, again, more there, everywhere you look filled with them. Here we have it here again, another big starfish. About 5 or 6 crab claws that we managed to find just in this little area. Like I say, absolutely endless. So guys, we are now back in the car. So it's getting pretty cold now, getting pretty dark, but basically I think I've kind of got everything. I'm going to put it together, see how it looks, see how it comes out, and if I don't feel like I've got enough, of the destruction that was caused, then I'll obviously head back tomorrow. But yeah. So like I said, it's basically pointless going back for a second day, because I didn't really want to just show you what I've already shown you, because it would just be very similar stuff. It could be slightly different, but the majority and the gist of what we're finding out there is just going to be cuttlefish bones, starfish, and basically and crabs, and everything that we kind of show you in the clip you just watched. So I mean, we might find something different, but considering the tide was coming in and taking it all back out, it would have been sort of not worth it. So yeah, basically we're just going to talk a little bit more about it in person, a little bit more sort of detailed, so I'm not wandering about and got stuff going on, just me and you, and hopefully that will sink in a little bit more, and hopefully I'll be able to say it a little bit better as well, because I can concentrate more on it. Now, I have been doing about 2 or 3 days, obviously not continuous, 2 or 3 days research on it, and I've actually learnt quite a lot, and there's so much to know about it. And even if you do want to just say, after watching this video, I want to cut out palm oil altogether like that, it's actually not as easy as you think. So basically I'll try and put them up here, or I'll get a little link up for you. But basically palm oil is used in a lot of products, lots that you don't even know. Things like obviously lipsticks, obviously not for boys but for girls, or a boy, it's up to you. But yeah, lipsticks, pop noodles, like noodles, stuff like that, absolutely everything. So we're going to basically run through some of the most common, most popular used items, not just from the UK, from around the world, that we use and we don't even realise that there's palm oil in them. Now, because a lot of people do know about this, which is good, they also kind of try and disguise it in another way. So it won't always be called palm oil. So if you looked on the back of a, I don't know, say like a noodle packet to see if they had palm oil in, then it wouldn't necessarily say palm oil. There is lots of different scientific names that they can use to kind of deter people off that, so they don't look like they're using them products. So yeah, we're just going to run through some of the most popular things used, and also some of the different names as well. So I'm actually going to be reading this from the Wildlifeorg. You guys probably know the site, I don't know if it will focus, but I'll try and get the thing up here anyway next to me so you can see them with me. But basically lipstick is the first one, and it actually tells you in the corner there's a little square which says why, and if you click on that it will just basically tell you why it is used, not just it is used and that's the end of it. So like for example, if we clicked on this, it holds colour well, so there you go. Lipstick obviously being red more predominantly, that is a key factor to why they'd use that over another alternative use. And just I'm literally just going to run through a few little things. Pizza dough, again, everybody I know eats pizza basically, so again you can't just go from cutting it out completely, but there is things you can do which we'll talk about later to prevent it. So instant noodles, shampoo, ice cream, detergents, margarine, chocolate, cookies, biodiesels, soap, packaged bread, and that is just, the list goes on. But all of them things that I've just listed, I can guarantee you've used at least one of them, and on a sort of continuous occasion. I'm not saying I haven't either, I have as well, but now I'm making myself more educated about it. I want to try and obviously cut this down and prevent it. So yeah, like I said, they are a really useful site, wildlife.org. I'll try and leave the link down in the description so you can click on it and have a little read for yourself, because you'll actually find out quite a lot, and it's much more better for you to be able to read that than me sit here and tell you it. That way you can take in what you want to take in. So now we're going to talk about some of the different names. But before we do talk about the different names of palm oil, as you can see, this little thing here, basically again, here we go, on the wildlife.org site, it does tell you lots of different ways to sort of like how you can help basically. So this says here, look for the RSPO labels, which is what I just showed you there, to ensure that the purchased products made with certified sustainable palm oil. So you might think, what's the point in that, because I'm still using palm oil and this video is about not using it. But again, this is about sustainable palm oil, so instead of it just being a whole forest burnt down for this palm oil, it will be sustained, where if they do this, they won't cause no deforestation, and they'll give back much more than they've taken out of the wildlife to then gain this palm oil. So again, buying more sustainable palm oil products like that If we were to all do that, then the more illegal, kind of like blacklisted ones wouldn't happen no more, because nobody would buy from them. So again, that site is very, very helpful. So yeah, like I said, before we move on, it does just say here that this label gives you the confidence that the palm oil was produced in a socially and environmentally responsible way. So obviously, like I said, that gives you the peace of mind as well, knowing that you're doing your little bit for the planet, just like everybody else can do, just that little bit extra. Now, you yourself thinking, what's the point? I'm not going to make no difference using that one product. But if everybody thought like that, nothing would get done. So if you do that little bit and hundreds of others people like do that little bit, then it's going to make a big difference, and that's what this video is all about. So like I said to you a minute ago, you don't want to cut out palm oil altogether, because this can actually have a worse effect on the environment and the ecosystem around you. So for example, if we're cutting out palm oil altogether, say everybody done it from tomorrow onwards, them sustainable palm oil farms which are doing it, which I just show you, then they'd be losing out because they'd be making no money. Now, them places which are actually sustainable and helping the environment, they would then not be able to do that because we wouldn't be buying the products. So you don't want to cut it out altogether, but you just want to make sure that you're using it at a sustainable level and from the right place. And also, if we was to just cut it out like that tomorrow and it'd be gone forever, no chance that there'd be another product that we'd use from the earth which we would then destroy furthermore. So if palm oil just went existed tomorrow and it just wasn't there, I'm sure that somebody somewhere would find another product from our earth, something, you know, that nature has grown to basically abuse and use, and obviously that can then cause more deforestation and more pollution, etc. So yeah, make sure you are just, you know, doing it but sustainably. So I'm now using another American site called Wildlifeorg, and basically I'll put the photo up here, and that will show you the long list of names which are basically hidden names for palm oil. So obviously a lot of companies don't want to be, you know, called out for using it because they know what it does, so they'll try and name it differently, and obviously that is fully legal because they've got many different names. But you want to make sure that obviously you think, oh, I'm doing something good, I'm not using something from the palm oil, but if there's a name there that you don't potentially know, then you could be the whole time. So yeah, I'm just going to put them up here. Hopefully you can have a little look at them and see them. Obviously you won't remember them all, but again, just a little helpful tip that you might have not known, because before I'd done my research I just thought it was the bog standard palm oil and that was it. I didn't know there was all these different names here. So yeah, something little useful for you to think about when you're next shopping. Now, also from the same site, which is that ran.org, I found a really good engaging photo. So I'm much better like visually looking at stuff than reading it, and this photo basically breaks down from where the forest was when it was untouched to then the processes of how it ends up basically in your home, of the forest, you know, getting burnt down, and the pollution, the palm oils or the palms being planted, and then the oil being harvested, shipped across to different places around the world, in the supermarket, and then in your home. And that's a really good sort of detailed picture really. So I'm going to add that there, and again the link will be down below in the description if you want to have a little look and a little read for yourself. So basically that is a kind of conclusion to this video. There was nothing more that I obviously wanted to talk about. Now I could go on and on forever about different, you know, places where palm oil's rocked up and you know, what's being done to stop it and that, but this is just me educating you on this, the kind of like the very basics of it. There's a lot more information out there on the internet, and the chances are if you're watching me on here, then you've got the internet, which means you've got access to all of that information yourself. And again, you know, you can read what you want to read about it. You don't have to dive too deep into it, but there is so much more about this. I could potentially do another video, but I'll see how this one goes. So like I said, we've covered actually being out there, seeing it firsthand on the coastline, what, you know, how it ends up there, what is happening and why it's coming to the coastline, the things that it is destroying and killing firsthand, and the things it is destroying and killing when it is dumped into the ocean. So obviously that's not just the rainforest, or it's not just the ocean, it's two massive parts put together which it is destroying, and obviously a lot more as well. And then we've broke down about the different scientific names and other names which are hidden, and some of the products that you might not have always known use it. So basically I was really surprised that pizza dough used that. So every time I now eat a pizza I feel guilty. So again, there's other ways around this, but again it's up to you how much research you want to do yourself. and I'm sure there is somewhere out there which does do pizza dough without it. So that's the thing, you just don't know. So yeah, read them little facts, read the little links I've put down below, because they're actually really interesting, especially if you like stuff like this, which I love. Now obviously, being where I am in the UK, I can't do much stuff like this as in going out, because there's not an awful lot out here, and we're also still in a full national lockdown. So yeah, other than that, that basically concludes the video. I hope you have liked it, even though it's been a bit of a sad one. But again, we've made it for the right reasons, for educational use, and hopefully to open up a few people's eyes and see. But like I say, yeah, and sorry about the wind noise in some of the beach video as well, because that was really windy. I just edited that and that sounds quite bad, but there's not a lot we can do about that now. So like I say, other than that, thank you for watching the video, I really appreciate it. We're trying to get to 500 subscribers and we're not far off, so if we could do that, that would be great. But again, leave a like, comment what you think about the whole situation. You know, I'm open to opinions, and you know, do you know something that I don't about palm oil? Drop it down below and you could educate me as well. So thank you for watching, have a great week, and stay tuned for another one next week.